And the earth was without form and void. And God said, "Let there be light." Genesis.
In the opening words of Scripture, Genesis 1:1 reveals God as Elohim, the Almighty Creator and omnipotent ruler of the universe. By the power of his spoken word, he brought all things into existence, not through long ages of natural development, but by his direct command.
For he spoke, and it was done. He commanded, and it stood fast.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. His creative authority establishes him as the supreme sovereign over all creation. As Elohim, God's throne stands at the very center of the universe and is the source from which all natural and moral law proceeds. These divine laws govern creation in perfect harmony, sustaining order, balance, and life throughout the vast expanse of his work.
Before the creation of humanity, a divine consultation took place between the Father and the Son. Scripture records their purpose in the words, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness."
Humanity was not an afterthought in God's plan, but the result of a loving and deliberate decision within the Godhead. When Adam came from the Creator's hand, he bore, in his physical, mental, and spiritual nature, a likeness to his Maker. God created man in his own image. Adam's mind was well balanced, and all the powers of his being were harmonious to the law of God, whose likeness Adam reflected God's character. The royal law of love is known to us as the Ten Commandments, but the law is not just words, they are a transcript of Elohim's character. So when Adam is called the Son of God and was crowned king in Eden, it pleased God to give Adam dominion. In giving Adam dominion over every living thing that God had created with wisdom, compassion, and unselfish care, just as God lovingly governs his creation, Adam was entrusted to care for the world under God's authority and according to his character.
Although Elohim is the sovereign ruler of the entire universe, he is not a distant or impersonal power. The Bible presents a God who desires a close and personal relationship with humanity. He formed man from the dust of the ground and personally breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. God saw that what he had created was very good, and thus Creator and humanity could live in close fellowship with one another. This intimate relationship is further demonstrated by the fact that God walked and conversed with humanity in the Garden of Eden, revealing his desire for fellowship, communion, and loving companionship with those he created in his image. This intimate relationship between the Creator and humanity did not end with the completion of Creation Week. To preserve and deepen that relationship, Elohim established the seventh-day Sabbath as a sacred and perpetual appointment between himself and his creation. After completing his work, God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, setting it apart as holy. The Sabbath was not instituted merely as a day of physical rest, for neither God nor unfallen humanity suffered from weariness. Rather, it was designed as a special time for communion with the Creator, a day in which humanity could draw closer to God and continually grow in the knowledge of his character. As a perpetual memorial of creation, the Sabbath reminds humanity that God alone is the true and living Creator. Each week, it directs the mind away from the things that have been made and back to the one who made them. Through the contemplation of God's works, Adam and Eve would gain a deeper understanding of His wisdom, power, love, and goodness. Thus, the Sabbath became a divine classroom where the Creator Himself would instruct His children in the wonders of His creation and the principles of His government. Created in the image of God, humanity was designed to reflect His character more fully with each passing day. Although Adam was created perfect, he was not infinite in knowledge. Throughout eternity, there would always be new depths of God's love and wisdom to discover. The Sabbath provided a recurring opportunity for the human mind to be elevated above earthly concerns and directed toward heavenly realities, enabling continual growth in spiritual understanding and in the likeness of the Creator. As they beheld His character and meditated upon His works, the divine image within them would be continually strengthened and developed. The Sabbath thus stood as a sign not only of God's creative power, but also of His purpose that humanity should forever grow in grace, wisdom, and loving communion with Him.
Coming up in our next video is Part 2, The Image Lost, the Origin of the Carnal Mind. We will be continuing on with the study of Genesis. The greatest tragedy in human history was not the loss of Eden, it was the loss of the image of God within the human heart. Created to reflect the character of our Creator, humanity chose another path. Love gave way to self. Harmony became rebellion. Life became death.
To keep